Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax.
Welcome to Syntax. Welcome to Syntax. 1,000 episodes. Here we are. Syntax number 1,000. We're live streaming the whole thing. We got Scott here. We got myself here. We actually have the whole team here. We got an awesome episode planned for you, so don't go anywhere. We got some fun history on the podcast. We've got some stats about the episode. I built a bunch of those really fun supercut clips, which I think that'll be an episode in itself on building that because that was so cool. But welcome, Scott. Congrats on 1,000.
Oh, Wes. Congratulations, man. Wow. In 2017, did you imagine 1,000 episodes, whole team of people? What a cool thing this has been so far.
Pretty nuts. So today we're going to be going through all of that stuff. We're going to introduce the team, go through some of the history. I dug up the Google Doc that me and Scott on April 1st, 2016, we sort of just banged our heads together as to what a good podcast would look like. And I pulled it up and we're going to go through it together. So let's get on into it. First of all, let's bring the team on and introduce everyone. It's not just Scott and I. We yap, but there's much more talented people behind the scenes that make this thing work.
Yeah. So the first person that joined the Syntax team was actually someone who worked with me on Level Up tutorials, and that is Kaitlin Bloom. Welcome to the show, Kaitlin.
Hi, guys. Congratulations on 1,000. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of dying at the fact that the Notion doc was created on April Fool's Day.
Notion wasn't even a thing back then. I don't think Notion was a thing. This is a Google Doc. But yeah, it was odd that it's April Fool's Day.
Were you guys like, is this going to be real?
1:08 p.m. The funny thing is that it took over a year from the document until we actually put the first podcast out. It was over a year of us just like mulling it over, being like, we should do it. You should do it. And like, that's kind of the trope is everyone's like, we should start a podcast,
But you guys actually did it and you're here. It's so cool.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
It's cool to be a part of it. It really is.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. Kaitlin is the marketing manager over at Syntax. She did the same thing for Level Up tutorials, and it was kind of a whirlwind to get you on the team. We're going to talk more about that later. Next on the show, though, is our amazing producer, Randy Rector. Randy was the fourth person to join the Syntax team and made a huge impact right away, because before Randy, there was no video. So Randy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Well, first of all, congrats on the 1,000 episodes. This is huge. I think I joined the team at 720. It was the Jen Simmons episode, No Pressure, the first one that I came on to edit with you guys. Yeah.
That was your first one. And that was a huge episode for us because Apple is a tough nugget to get people to come on. And that was a big... People got really mad that we brought somebody on from Apple because everybody hated Apple, and they still do. But man, that was hard to get Jen on. And we're like, hey, Randy, first episode, big one.
No
Yeah, it was
pressure.
a great process joining the team. Honestly, it was a lot of fun because like you guys had a lot of systems in place that you were pretty comfortable with, but you also had this like total open, just do whatever makes the podcast sick. And I came in, at first I was like, I feel like there's no, like, they don't have any direction for me. I don't know if they like what I'm doing, but you guys were just so chill with the like, make the podcast sick. So
but that was part of the hiring process though, is that we interviewed so many people and we were essentially just like, you tell me what to do.
Right.
Like we want somebody to help us figure out how to make this thing bigger and better and whatever. And like Scott and I know like web dev and whatnot and creating content, but we really needed somebody who would tell us what to do. And that's why we landed on Randy, because he sort of tells us exactly what to do. And I love it.
I appreciate it. It's nerve-wracking coming in when you got like 700 episodes and you're like, tell me what to do. And I'm like, you guys are doing a great job already. Like,
We had no video. We had no.
Yeah.
We were just kind of doing it, and that was the funny thing is that the hardest part about transitioning to a team of folks was like Wes and I were largely working on syntax, a couple days a week, just recording and then editing and preparing and stuff like that. But he and I are both maybe less structured. So like bringing on people is like having to add structure. How do you add structure without killing the vibe? Yeah.
So like 10 minutes before this live stream, CJ's like, so what are we going to do? And Scott and I are like, like we have a huge document of ideas and notes and stuff. And then usually what happens with each of the podcasts is we spend anywhere from we spend our whole week researching and learning and whatever, but then like the actual notes as to how the podcast will be approached is usually between 45 minutes to 3 hours, depending on what the podcast looks like. And we kind of just have a bunch of demos ready and a bunch of stuff to go towards, but we are a little bit more off the cuff than what some people would like.
Well, I think that's one of your guys' strengths, right? That's why everyone loves
yeah.
you guys, because it's just a couple guys
Oh,
hanging out
yeah.
who happen to have a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good introduction to the fifth member of the team, CJ Reynolds. He joined our team as a YouTube expert and content creator.
Yeah.
CJ, what's up?
Hello. Not much. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm excited to be here. I think if we're talking about like how I got onto the team, I had to interview. It was a process. I think I had imposter syndrome for like at least the first 6 months of like, do I even belong here? Because I used to listen to syntax myself on my commute. So yeah, to join and then be able to make my own videos. I think initially you guys hired me was like dive into topics that are on the podcast. So I did a lot of that. Now I'm doing a lot more of my own stuff, like what I'm interested in. But yeah, hello.
Everybody loves CJ the most. If you go into the comments, everybody says CJ wins. Even the videos where CJ isn't in,
it's a meme.
everyone says CJ wins. But no, we interviewed quite a few people for CJ, and like it was very clear that like CJ was like knew his shit, right? Like he's technically very capable. You can see that when he kicks our butt in all of the coding competitions, right?
Yeah.
But he also like knows how to explain things well, like get his thoughts across, and also like editing as well. Like often CJ will jump into a video and be like, let me just add little zooms and stuff here and there to a video and be like, oh, that's so much better.
Yeah. I want to say like the hiring, we had so many applications in that hiring process for CJ's position, and everybody was great. Everybody interviewed really well. There was just some amazing people who came and showed up for this process. And then the meeting that we had to discuss like our thoughts on the interviews, I feel like every single one of us came to the meeting, be like, guys, I really want to advocate for hiring CJ for this position. Like,
oh, thanks,
and everyone was kind of expecting it to be like they're going to have to fight for CJ, when in reality, we're all in agreement that it was like we all wanted to fight for CJ to get the job. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you crushed that process.
I appreciate that. I will say I've grown in this role too. So before this, I was mainly just a live streamer. So that's where I got my start on a channel called Coding Garden. And so like I used to live stream like four days a week and teach coding. But in this role, I've kind of had to learn how to edit and how to do more production instead of just going live. And I think I've gotten pretty decent at it. But I think that's one thing I've enjoyed about this role is like branching out from live streaming and creating more like edited, produced content.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. And speaking of edited content, our latest hire in addition to the syntax team is Niki Bradner, who came on earlier. This was at the very end of last year, the tail end of last year, November, October, all the way from Amsterdam. Welcome, Niki.
Yes. Hi, how are you guys? Congrats on 1,000 episodes. It's so nice to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have Niki. Her first full edit, like Niki's been doing a lot of edits, especially part of the Mad CSS and all over this channel. But her latest full edit was the Artemis Vibe Off video, and including all the hilarious animations and stuff. Niki, you just like brought a whole lot of new energy to this team, and we're so happy to have you on here.
Oh, likewise. It's so nice to be here. It's so funny. Like I still I can join CJ on that. Like I still have imposter syndrome. I joined beginning of October, but it's still like I just feel like settling in, but it's so nice to be here.
Awesome. Let's get into some stats. I ran the numbers. Basically, I took not every episode we did because the Syntax website has transcripts, right? And for some reason, the transcripts only go back about 750 episodes. So we got a bug. We got to figure it out. It's in Sentry, right? Sentry.io/syntax, by the way.
Coupon code, tasty treat, all lowercase,
Yes.
all one word.
But I took those 700 transcripts and like tried to do some data science on it and figure out who speaks more, what are the most common phrases and things like that. So chat, let us know, who do you think talks more in an episode between Scott and I? Never mind the guests and whatever of people having on. I'd like to see what people think. Or team, who do you think yaps more, Scott or me?
I think it's you, Wes.
I think it's Wes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the answer. So I can't.
I
Which
talk
is funny
the
because
least, but yeah.
in my everyday life, I'm known as the person who does not stop talking. So the fact that I can be out-talked by Wes is that's an accomplishment, Wes.
Out of 100%, 38% is me speaking. 34% is Scott speaking, and then the rest are either undetectable or guests or things like that. So I talk about 4 or 5% more than Scott on any given episode, which I agree. Sometimes, especially some of the recent Next.js one, I was looking at the stats, and Scott hardly got a word in on that one.
Yeah, sometimes the interviews are tough because there's, especially when there's 3 or 4 people, Wes and I are like constantly trying to fight each other as to who's going to, like, we should have a better system. We actually proposed a little hand-raising system, but then you can't get Wes to adhere to anything like that.
No, it ruins the flow, especially if you're in something, you're like, but what about this,
Yeah.
So I just trample over you. Let me show you this, though. This is every single episode split by speaker. So the orange is going to be me, and the purple is going to be Scott, and then the gray is just other people talking. So you can see some of the episodes here. This gray one, this is when we had Tim and Jim on from Next.js. They talked most of that episode, right?
Yeah.
But you can hardly see Scott in a purple here. Whereas you go to like episode 977, which is we built a CSS challenge platform. That one's almost entirely Scott. But it's kind of fun to like scroll through.
Wow, you really picked the best colors for this.
Yeah, this is maybe not a good idea.
I'm like tripping, trying to
see everything. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should switch this up, but make it a little bit different. Oh, some of the older episodes don't show exactly right. Although we need to redo the transcripts on this. There's much better tech to build transcripts than what we used a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's so funny because there's some episodes, especially like the Next.js one, where like I almost don't even know what to ask just because I don't use it as much. So the questions I can ask are going to be more like vibe based, like how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
What are your where you can get into the more technical nitty gritty.
That's the thing is like I know about like Webpack comments, like magic comments, which Tim didn't even know about, and he's the one building TurboPack, and so
I never
feel
even
like
used Webpack, so
no, lucky.
Yes, that's a lot of words though. Wait, did you see 2 million words or something from?
Yeah,
from
let's
you?
look at it here. So out of 771 episodes, which we have transcribed, that is 5,700,000 words. 113,000 utterances, which is kind of like two or three sentences kind of put together, as Scott and I going back and forth. 10,480 topics, those are just from the show notes. Those are marked down, regexed out of there. 7,493 average words an episode. Longest episode, 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is our 300th episode we did live. And then we've said sick 1,200 times. Dope is only said 19 times, which I don't believe.
I don't
feel like
believe
you say
that
dope
for
a lot more than
1
that.
second. I probably said it 19 times today.
But I will mention CJ is rising in trending words.
Yes.
I guess you guys mention me all the time.
So what we did here is I took the first half of the transcripts and then the second half of the transcripts, and we looked at words that were trending, basically words that show up. And CJ is up 433, or sorry, 4,000%.
Nice. Love to see it.
On the rise.
Yeah. MCP is the biggest jump in word
Yeah.
use. Claude, Coolify, Biome, LLM, Hono, Embedding, JSR. That's not surprising, actually. Anthropic, Transformers, Sega.
Yeah, that whole episode of Sega.
Sega.
And then words that we do not. Most of the declining words were just past sponsors. And then since we joined Sentry, we no longer have to do sponsors, which is the best. So that's why you don't see these words like FreshBooks and Linode anymore. But Scrubbable. That was probably from one of the
video episode
ad reads, I think.
Oh, Apollo's interesting. Apollo.
Oh, yeah, Apollo.
Folks, Apollo.
GraphQL, Apollo.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Down.
Oh.
Up from 211 to 28 instances.
Talinsky.
Beginner. Jamstack. Oh, Jamstack from 70 down to 13.
It's about to trend back upwards now just by saying it a couple times here.
Yeah, Jamstack.
It's a sign of the times, though. Yeah.
It is a sign of the times. I think I like even that. Yeah, I'm surprised to see GraphQL isn't on there as a word too, even though we do have Apollo there.
Top words by speaker. I was extremely surprised at the number one word and the number two word for me and Scott was rid.
Get rid of rid.
And I looked into it, and it's legit, right? I can open this up in a new tab, and you can see our usage of rid. Why?
Whoa! What?
Rid
Is that
prompts?
one episode with 125 occurrences?
Yes.
Wow. Or
Oh, no, sorry,
157.
not episode. This is monthly.
Oh, month.
So
Okay.
125 times in a month. Why did we say rid? That must have been in a sponsor, or maybe that was when Scott tacked something on to the end of the episode. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe that was in like the outro.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. It could be in the outro. Little. We both say little. I say
little is
Wes,
the most used word. Node
and Wes
is my
says
third.
Wes.
Yeah, why does Scott say Wes and Wes says Wes?
Wes says
I have a
Wes.
feeling I know why.
Honestly, it might be a like a speaker detection error. I don't know. Because do you ever say your own name? Yeah.
I often use my own name in examples. So like I'll say like if I'm going to westboss.com or I also the shameless plugs, I often will say my own. So that's probably it. Because in the shameless plugs, I always say westboss.com and Scott would have said like level up tuts.
Syntax next.
I don't know if there's
Who
anything
says
else
syntax
interesting
more?
here.
I say
that's a
it.
Good question.
220.
Whoa.
Yes,
Yeah.
I say syntax more.
Scott says syntax 265 times more. It's number 13 for Scott and number 33 for me, which just goes to show either I talk more or have a bigger vocabulary.
That's actually not true. I have the biggest vocabulary of anyone on the show, and I'll fight you for that.
Actually, I do believe that. So maybe let's jump into this for a second. I built an app that did supercuts of like common phrases that were said over and over again. And I found tons of them for CJ and I, like just like tropes that we say over and over again, like under the hood, we say over and over again. And for CJ and I, we found tons. And for Scott, I had a hard time finding the same thing that Scott says over and over again. So Randy has these videos queued up. Should we play them now, Scott?
Yeah.
As you can see. That's good.
That was really good. There was a couple other ones that were predominantly CJ. I'll see if I can find them, but
all the poor audio listeners are listening to this like, I don't see a thing.
Oh, yeah. There was
well, they're here.
Audio listeners, that was a supercut of all the clips. So I took the transcripts and we have word level detection. And I downloaded the last 150 episode or YouTube videos, not just podcast episodes. This was
Yeah.
separate. And then I used the new XAI transcript API because we've been using DeepGram for all of our stuff, but this is like 3 times cheaper. I transcribed 150 of our YouTube videos for 50 cents. And then I ran some scripts on it to figure out what were like common phrases. And then I built this like FFmpeg thing that would take the timestamps and then make a supercut of every time we said a specific word, like, as you can see, and then it put it all into one video, which is, the results were hilarious to output. Scott, do you know what your most commonly said thing?
I don't know, because I'm looking at my 5-word phrases on here, and it's like all the stuff that is in the bumpers. So
yeah,
if it's not in the bumpers,
it's not bumper stuff. I had to exclude a lot of that. I did run it on like commonly said 5-word phrases, but it wasn't, nothing good came out of that. So I ended up just manually looking for them.
I couldn't tell you. No,
right.
No idea.
Let us have it, Randy.
We're going to be talking about. 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 We're going to be talking about.
Can I just say,
we're going to be
my
talking
style's on point.
about. We're going to be talking about my style be styling in those clips.
Yeah. Quite honestly, the fun part about these supercuts was I was like, oh, that shirt was cool. I should find that one, or I like that one. Oh,
yeah.
Your hair looks good in all of those, Scott.
I'm actually shocked. Yes.
I think it'd be cool to build this, but do facial detection on the video and like line like eyes up or something.
Oh God.
Wouldn't that be sick or creepy?
Yeah, that would be creepy. I don't know why that creeps me out for some reason. That creeps me out. I don't get it. Yeah. I don't like those videos where they have the camera and it's like aligned to someone's eyes and they're like backgrounds moving around.
Oh, yeah. They're moving around.
That. Oh, thank you.
I think that's a Da Vinci feature, isn't it?
I don't know.
Do you guys have any stats on how many times each of you have done the intro?
Oh,
that's a good question.
That's a good question.
I don't.
Okay.
What would you guess, Scott? Like, who intros the podcast?
I think I intro more.
Split.
Yeah.
You think you do? Yeah, I would probably say like 60%, Scott. Usually when we record like 2 in a day, we try to like generally just kind of split it. But if it's an episode where one of us has like done like a deep dive on something, generally that person intros it because we understand it more. And then the potlucks, one thing we started doing in the potluck episodes, which if you've never listened to one, it's where we bring listener questions in and we answer them. We've started doing the intro at the end so that we can tell people kind of what's upcoming, and that has really helped like retention. The people are like, oh, I want to learn about X, Y, and Z. I'm going to keep listening to this one because then you have an idea of what's included in this podcast.
Yeah, this is really fascinating to see all these words.
And then mine, I know what mine is, but you can play it, Randy.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Significantly slower than cursor. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. No.
I'm not sure. Oh, those are great. I honestly wish I could just do an hour. I have like 100 of these different videos. The one where we say AI is 4.5 minutes long.
AI. It's just like the words lose all their meaning after that. That welcome one specifically, when I was hearing the welcome, it's like, oh my gosh, that word it's completely transformed.
I did the tan stack one, and it's just like, it's like saying the word fork or spoon 100 times. Yeah. It loses all meaning.
So a lot of people don't know that, and we'll talk about this in the Google Doc. We created our first Google Doc kind of outlining the show April 1st, 2016, as Kaitlin mentioned, and we didn't actually record the first episode of Syntax until June 27th, 2017. Well, we recorded before then, but we recorded like 4 episodes so that way we could have a bunch ready to go. But in between that time, I was struggling to make Level Up tutorials work on YouTube as both a business, but also YouTube was cutting ad revenue. And because of that, I had to take a job at a startup here in Denver. It was a 3-person startup. I was building the app basically myself. It was a good idea. And I was just like crushing it, working hard to, all of a sudden I'm doing content full time, and now all of a sudden I'm building an app full time. And that project had been going on for I want to say 6-7 months. But the work culture there, yeah, 6, 7. Yes, I even kind of did it by accident. Oh my gosh.
It's built into you, yeah.
Man, the work culture there had been getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't know if they were running out of money or something. It's not like they were spending that much money anyways. And I just kept getting maybe more pressure on me to what was initially, I was building a prototype of a software for them to sell to investors. That was the gig, right? But that started drifting into, oh, this isn't a prototype anymore. This is the app. And why isn't it done yet? Well, it's working as a prototype. You guys didn't uphold your end of the bargain. So it just became an increasingly toxic work environment to the point where they were super rude and all kinds of stuff. But my son was born at the end of May. My very first child was born at the end of May of 2017. And we had the podcast idea. My son was born, and the weekend of the birth of my first child, a Sunday night, this is ingrained in my memory forever, a Sunday night at 8 p.m. on Sunday night, I'm getting blown up on my phone, with toxic, harassing messages about a broken feature in pre-alpha software that had no users. It was that Sunday. And then Monday, I'm driving my parents back because my parents were in town. I'm driving them back to the airport, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to quit this job. And I didn't have a job. I had a YouTube account, but YouTube was not paying very much at that point in time. And man, it was I don't know, that the amount of stress that gets involved in that decision, because it's you just had a child and what you're going to quit your job. So I seriously, I that day I quit my job. I told him I wasn't going to do it. And the co-founder of the company was like, I get it. You're not treated very well. And so I was like, yeah, all right, I'm out. And then at that point, I think it was literally, I sat down with my thoughts and was like, I need to do something. And I don't want to take credit for pushing Wes to go forward with this, but at that point, I really needed to do something. And we had been kind of off and on talking about getting this going. And so at that point, I was like, we need to do this podcast. Wes agreed. We recorded 4 episodes, released on June 27th. Rest is history.
The rest is history. Yes. I'll give you credit for that, because I love talking about doing things, but sometimes you just need a kick in the pants to actually get going. And I'm glad we did it, because like you said, we were doing it for quite a while. And should we share the original doc of our brainstorming? I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and we'll get into this later. But Aja Lil in the chat says, "Did Sentry get involved early in the podcast, or did it happen years later?" I think we'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah, well, let's do it right now. Sentry was
classic Wes right there.
We'll do it live. Sentry was always a sponsor of Syntax, and from very early on, they actually had approached me for one of my courses probably over 10 years ago and say, hey, if you want to do anything together, let me know. And then I was like, oh, you want to sponsor our podcast? So they sponsored that. And they, from the very first days, they said, give us as many episodes as you can. And it was amazing, right? And they said it was one of the only sponsorships that they ever saw good ROI on or positive ROI on. A lot of times people sponsor podcasts and it's just because of word of mouth, right? They're not actually making more money than they spend sponsoring the podcast. But there was a really good relationship. And then around episode 600, Sentry contacted us and said, hey, do you want to just join Sentry? You can keep doing your thing, but make this even bigger. You don't have to take sponsorships on. And it's been fantastic. So we owe Sentry quite a bit for how good the Syntax podcast is today.
Yeah, I think if it was anybody else, it would have been a tough sell for us to join a company like that. But because we had that working relationship with Sentry and we've known the folks over there for so long, and just a high quality team of people. So yeah.
somebody in the chat asked for a 6-7 compilation, so I had to run it. 6, 7.
6, 7, 6, 7.
6, 7. 6, 7.
6, 7.
6, 7, 6.
Wow.
CJ, why do you say 6, 7 so much?
I'm not even doing it on purpose. That's what I've realized after discovering the meme. Like, we say it all the time. Yeah, 6, 7 years, 6, 7 hours, 6, 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so funny.
We've said 6, 7 17 times in the last 150 videos. That's
My
quite a
kids
bit.
are so over 6, 7, which makes
Yeah.
it so much funnier to say now. Like,
Yeah, I was
it makes
watching
it
this
so much funnier.
watching a YouTube video about memes, and kids are like, "Oh, 6, 7 is so old. Like, that's not funny anymore."
Yeah. Put it in the chat. What else do we say? Because I got the script. I can make a supercut of anything. So if there's anything you want to see, if we can pull up, we can do it. But let's look at the original doc from what? This is over 10 years ago. Oh, Dead Nuts is a good one. Yeah, I'll do that. But this was Scott and I's thing, writing Markdown in Google Docs, right? Because there was nothing.
Pre-markdown support.
Weekly is a big commitment. I'd love to prep to be minimal.
Weekly's a big commitment. Yeah.
I'd love to get a point where we can make $1,000, $2,000 per show. We were making a lot more than that when we stopped sponsors, which is great. Good examples. Shop Talk Show is on here. Fizzle, Sean West.
We both really liked jQuery, which
Yes.
I don't know if that's on here, but we liked how fun it was. I think that was one of the big things for us was like, it has to be fun. It has to be that style.
Yeah. Has to be fun, entertaining, silly. jQuery was a podcast by Paul Irish, Alex Sexton, Rebecca Murphy, and Adam Sontag, and they were all big people in like the early JavaScript scene. And I love that podcast just because like they would share little tips. They had this like Paul Irish had this thing called the anti-performance tip of the week, which is basically like little things that could make your jQuery app slow. And I love that little segment, little nuggets that you could take out of that episode. And I was really sad when they like stopped doing that. And I was like, we should build up like the modern version of jQuery because they're just silly and it's entertaining and you learn a lot from it.
That was the first podcast that I was really into, like the very first one. Yeah. Things that we hate about podcasts. I actually thought we connected a lot on stuff that we didn't want it to be. I know that there's just these two things, too long and rambly, inside joke titles that don't lead you in. I think there were so many more things that we initially talked about as being stuff that we don't like about podcasts. And to me, that fact that we had such similar tastes in what we didn't like about other shows was something that led me to like be like, oh, this is a good idea,
Exactly. So if for those who don't know, Scott and I were part of what's called a mastermind, where it was 4 guys who just like sold web dev courses, and we would meet up like every other week and just kind of talk about the business. And then Scott and I just like we loved each other, right? we just like got along well, and like we had really good back and forth. And I thought like, okay, this is like somebody who I could do a podcast with. And then when we started talking about what we hated, like long and rambly podcasts and inside jokes that don't lead you to things, we're like, oh man, we're all on the same page here. The names. I thought this was hilarious, looking at all the names. I initially had the domain Boss Sauce, and I was going to start my own podcast, which I'm glad I did not call it Boss Sauce.
The code in code are such like funny. Like I don't know if you had a band and stuff. When I had a band, I remember some of the worst names that we came up with were of probably the same style as code. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what it is about those that just like hits me in that spot. Like the Fun Dev Show. Some of these things are so funny. I think Web Sauce works. Blockscopes works.
Blockscope
Yeah.
is probably the only good one on this list.
I think so too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The rest of the team, do you see anything on here that was good? And what's actually interesting is that syntax was not on this list. The initial was at 1 p.m. And then it was not till 3 hours later that the word syntax got added looks like Scott added it.
What did I add?
Was it you that came up with the idea of syntax?
Can we give me credit for that? I'll take credit
I think
for that.
I think the literature shows.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, look at purple.
Syntax cast. Yes. I think all the best
Wow.
ones on here. Yes, async and syntax
Async
cast.
is good.
Well, Wes did come up with all the branding, so I can at least take credit for that part. Hey, I didn't know that. I'm gonna ride on that now. Creator of the syntax word brand.
Exactly. I'm glad that we can go back 10 years in Google Docs history and see who typed that in.
That's actually crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bout of inspiration at 3:58 p.m. on April 1st.
And to jump forward, a quick call out from Internet Doggo. They did a calculation. So total length calc, 2,679,834 seconds for all episodes. 31 days worth of podcasts you guys have done.
Wow.
31 days. That's
31 days.
A whole dang month.
That's insane.
Yeah, 19 work weeks of full-time listening at 1x.
That's actually crazy because I've met multiple people who have said, I've listened to every single episode, you know? Like there's hundreds of people. Every time we have Spotify Wrapped, you see people who have numbers that are larger than the amount of content we put out in a single year. And there are people, and also I met somebody like a couple weeks ago, and they're like, I started listening to your podcast, and I started at 1. And I was like, no, let's start at 1. Like that's 10 years old. Like that is not good to be listening to, like us talk about 10-year-old React best patterns.
Yeah. I know, that's so funny to think about.
What else is on here? Episode ideas. What's new in CSS? Man, 10 years later, we still just did that. We did that episode last week.
We just did that episode. Yeah.
If it works,
testing.
yeah.
Yeah. What's funny is the Task Runners episode where it's gulp, grunt, webpack, and NPM scripts. Like all of that tech. Like, yes, NPM scripts is the only one that survived. But man, I remember gulp. Everything was gulp for me.
Gulp was the best. Computer hardware, Hackintosh. Yeah, we talked about Hackintoshes a lot in the early days before like the M chips killed the Hackintosh.
I ran a Hackintosh as my main system for a long time. Yeah. You can see it as a character in many of the Level Up tutorials videos. JavaScript frameworks one. I feel like we ended up doing all of these things. Notice how I added the health encoding lifestyle issues like posture issues, pelvic. Well, I was always pushing to do the health and fitness episodes, so that's funny that I added that.
Let's see what else you added on the next day. Oh, you added site performance the next day. And then a couple hours later, what did you add? Get cracking. You came like a day later, 3 hours later, just to type get cracking in.
Let me add get cracking on here. This is what this is.
All right,
sorely
let's
missing.
see what I added a month later. Oh, that's when I came up with the logo. Oh,
which is just
that's not the password anymore. That used to be the old. We used to keep our password in.
Oh, okay. For the podcast listeners, I love to make syntax podcast was the password. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Man. Come on.
Well, there was no one password back then, CJ. That
okay.
And it was just temporary.
You definitely should not have been doing that.
The password was password.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah. That is funny. And then this is where we started adding in. Oh, this is where we started like doing the different episodes. CSS grid.
Me adding Meteor as the only thing here is pretty on brand.
Scott. Camera access, podcast layout. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in there.
Oh, I love this doc. I love popping open this doc.
I got dead nuts. You guys ready?
Ready for dead nuts, yes.
Dead nuts.
Dead nuts. Dead nuts.
Dead nuts.
I'm surprised I say it as much as Wes. Wes has probably said it more frequently
than me. I made you say it.
Me.
That's great.
Hey, so Wes, we want to let, to improve the lag on the stream, we want to let Niki, Kaitlin, and Randy go. But first, I wanted to talk with Kaitlin a little bit as the first person to join the team. I think there's a funny story there, especially around when the Sentry acquisition happened. So, Kaitlin, how long had you been working with me at Level Up? Was it a year and a half, 2 years? I feel like it was probably like 2 years.
It's so hard to remember, right? I think it was about 2 years. I think you and I started doing stuff with Level Up around the end of 2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so 2024, kind of early 2024 was when everything was going on with Sentry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I first met Kaitlin. She was working at Galvanize, which was
Yeah.
I don't know if are they still
I
around,
think they're
CJ?
still hanging
Kaitlin, do you
in.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like online only or
Okay.
something. Because I
Yeah.
work there too. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was
Definitely.
asking CJ too. Yeah, Kaitlin and CJ both did work at Galvanize at one point, but they had I had done some events with them before where I had
Yeah.
like been brought in to speak at things. But Kaitlin, you had worked there for, I don't know, how long did you work there?
Like a year and a half. It was during like COVID, so it was a little rough. But it's interesting. So you guys started, I'm going to go back a little bit further for a second because you guys started talking
Yeah.
about this 2016. You got your first episode out 2017, but you guys didn't meet in person until 2018, right?
Yeah.
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 And was that not at the Jamstack Conf in Denver?
It was in
Yeah.
SF, not in
I think
Denver.
it was even
really?
2019 in San Francisco. Yeah, but Scott and I had never met after almost 3 years of doing stuff together.
Wow.
Yeah. And people had
Okay.
thought we were in the same room because we didn't do video. And people just thought we were in the same room recording. I was like,
These are
no, actually, I've
ridiculous.
never met him before.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like been exposed to Scott and I mean just the syntax like whole podcast for a while, but then at Galvanize I was like, I need to get someone on to talk about imposter syndrome, and it'd be really great to have somebody that's local in Denver. We have that live video somewhere, Scott. We got to pull that up and like look at that sometime. But that's how you and I started getting connected, just like through
Yeah.
events for Galvanize. And then yeah, it kind of slid into your DMs and was like, hey, you need help with Level Up?
Yeah, you were like, do you know anybody? That's what you asked me. Do you know anybody that needs a marketing manager? Because you were just doing outreach, right? Like
Yeah.
you were just trying
Got
to
laid off 2020 from Galvanize. Yeah, 2021.
and it was such perfect timing because I was just lamenting to my wife over and over again about how I needed that position. I cannot like continue to do everything myself. And then it's like I got that message from you, like, hey, do you know anyone? Like, hey,
You're like, actually.
let's talk. Yeah, actually, let's talk. So we started working together. You became a full-time employee of
Mhm.
Level Up. From there, you had been joining me on live streams,
Mhm.
handling emails, Black Friday, all this stuff. And this whole time that the Sentry and syntax conversation was going on, we were under NDA. I couldn't tell Kaitlin. So we were undergoing a massive site redesign at the time. Caitlin's working on all this marketing plans, and I have to just kind of be like, yeah, the future plans for this, knowing that Level Up and Syntax would most likely be joining Sentry. But I couldn't tell her. And then we basically get the final offer in, and it's like, all right, we are signing this offer, and then I can tell Kaitlin. But she has to basically decide in 24 hours if she wants to join a new company with Wes, who she had you never met Wes, right?
Never met him,
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So it was like, what was that like to just get that message out of the blue? Like,
I mean, it was funky, right? Because you didn't ever said anything. You didn't like bust your NDA, but you were definitely kind of like, I could feel like things were changing, and
I was stressed.
You were stressed and like the energy was different, and I was sure I was getting fired. Like, what else could it be, right? I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, do you have time to chat? Like an emergency chat.
Outside of normal business hours, and you're like, hey, do you have like a minute to chat right now? And I'm like, okay, great, yeah. And this is like right when I moved into that Colorado cabin. Like we just put all our stuff in storage. Life was already a little uncertain, so I was like, great, okay, guess I'm getting fired now. So it wasn't that. It was actually great news. I had never actually heard of Sentry because I'm in marketing, So I was just like, who's Sentry? You're like, okay, they're actually a really, really great company. Like you're gonna like it. Like I hope you accept. Like, and you're reading me all the benefits. Gabe, my partner's like listening to this call because he also like he knew I thought I was gonna get fired. So he's like
a dev, right?
He's a dev, yeah. And so he's like, he knows Sentry, loves Sentry, uses Sentry. And so he's like hearing about it. And he's like, in the background, like, yeah, this is a good thing. And I just come to him like, I don't know, I guess I have a new job and I'm a part of Syntax now. And yeah, I mean, Gabe's been a fan of Syntax for forever. So he's just, I mean, he fangirled when I joined Level Tutorials. He fangirled even harder when I was able to join the Syntax Sentry team. So
That's great.
yeah.
I felt really guilty about that. Yeah.
Yeah. it's been fun, and I appreciate you pulling me into this. It's just been cool, and you guys are just so good at this. You should be so proud that you reached 1,000 episodes, and everyone loves you, and you've just built something really, really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kaitlin, we'll let you drop. And Niki, thank you so much for joining us too, as the newest member of the team. We're so happy to have you. So thank you so much for joining us. And then Randy, even though you're the producer, we'll have you drop because
I'm dropping. I'll still be here, but I'm dropping. Later, guys.
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Yeah.
Bye.
He's going back behind the scenes where he belongs.
It's like a kind
You're
of
not
laugh
on
at
screen
that.
talent,
You got
Randy.
a kind of laugh.
Yeah. Turn the knobs.
uh,
Oh, that's great. All right. What else we got here? Do we want to do the old intros? Do we want to talk about what the top episodes of all time were?
This actually leads into a question that someone had about
Yeah.
what would be a good place to start. So this is from Thinkverse. What would be a good starting point for new listeners? The latest episode in episodes back, start of the year. I would imagine that like best episodes of all time are probably some that they should tune into.
This is a hard problem that Spotify is unfortunately not helping anybody with. Like most people are listening to podcasts on Spotify right now, and this is something we're trying to solve with the new website as well. Is just collections of a podcast. Like, I'm new here, what should I listen to? Search Fundamentals. Those are some of our top episodes, and we go through we have one on JavaScript, one on TypeScript, one on CSS, one on HTML. We probably have 10 different fundamentals episodes where we just break everything down and explain it right down. Dead nuts, right? And those are probably like the best timeless ones that are not like, oh, don't listen to a 6-year-old React episode because that's not necessary. Things have changed since then.
I thought that one of our most popular episodes was the Josh Wordle episode on the creator of Wordle. I thought that was a great episode.
That was really fun.
I thought it was fascinating to hear that this, like, you could just make something and have it pop off to that degree, and just how fun that whole thing was with him. So I think that's a good episode.
It was a crazy story because like when Wordle was released, it was this game during the pandemic that absolutely blew up. And I didn't hear about it when it was blowing up. And I got an email from this guy being like, hey, I made this game that's getting really popular. And I was like, cool, congrats. Like that. He's like, I listened to, I didn't brush him off, but he's like, I listened to Syntax. I learned to code from you guys. And I made this game that got really popular called Wordle. And I like read it and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'll reply in the morning. And then I forget who it was. It was my parents or my wife or something. Everybody started talking about Wordle. And I was like, was that the same guy that emailed me? And so I looked it up. I was like, holy shit, this guy emailed me. And like the New York Times just bought it. So I messaged him back and I was like, dude, this is sick. Come on and explain to us how you built Wordle.
Wow.
And he came on, and that is our 4th most popular episode ever. Our stats are a little bit skewed because we moved from Libsyn to Megaphone Spotify at one point. But if we're looking at all of our episodes from like 700-800 episodes back, the Josh Wordle episode was number 4 or 5. 4.
Yeah. That was a good one.
The number 1 episode is JavaScript Fundamentals. Number 2 is how to get better at problem solving, which I really like that one. 3rd one, the fundamental server side. That one is really popular. And then the 6th one, design foundations for developers.
Rollers in the Twitch chat says start with the Halloween episodes.
Oh, the
Oh,
Halloween
yeah.
episode. So when was the very first Halloween episode? So I don't remember when we came up with this idea, but we had the idea to make spooky web dev stories for Halloween. And it has, in turn, every single year, I look forward to these every single year. There's so many of them now. The first
2019 was our first episode. If you go to syntax.fm/spooky, we'll have a submission form and a list of all of our past episodes. And these are just like tech horror stories of when things went wrong.
Yeah. So the 2019 was the first year we did that. I can't imagine the show without that episode, honestly. Those are some of the funniest ones to me. I remember the very longtime Syntax listeners will know this. The very first time that we did a Spooky Stories episode, I was doing my Dracula voice for the whole episode. And halfway through the episode, Wes, because these weren't live or whatever, Wes like stops and he's just like, "You're not going to do that voice the whole episode, are you?" Like, he was, like maybe one of the more serious times I've ever had Wes have a conversation
So
with
annoying.
me. Yeah, like this is driving me nuts. But the fans loved it.
Nice.
People loved the spooky voice.
Yeah, the episodes are like timeless too, because it's just people having tech problems, and like it doesn't matter if it's old React or whatever. It's about the drama of the story of like, are you going to get fired? Did you drop a production database? That kind of thing. So those are super entertaining.
Some of the older ones are the best as well, because like 10 years ago, like people were doing FTP, they were SSHing into boxes. We didn't have the deployment streams that we have now. And a lot of it was just like people trying not to goof up and then accidentally dropping a database or shipping the wrong code or the wrong environmental variable. And that kind of stuff definitely happens, especially with all vibe coding. But some of the older ones are some of the best.
Yeah, totally. And the latest one, I got to make a song for it. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a song again this year. I would love to make more songs. That was actually so fun.
CJ, do you want to guess what our top countries are by listenership if you didn't look at the notes?
I didn't look at the notes, but I have a guess based on like YouTube stats. Like I'd say US is probably number 1.
Yeah, 42%.
India is always pretty high up. Are they 2?
India is not on the podcast charts, but for my YouTube and for my own course, India is, for the free ones, India is number 1. Yeah. And then the paid ones, India is usually like 4 or 5. It's usually up there. Okay. A lot of people in India.
Germany should be pretty high too, right?
Yeah, Germany number 4.
And UK?
UK number 2.
Okay. So who's number 3?
The creators of this podcast. This is a
creator.
Dutch?
It's a Canadian podcast.
Okay. Canada, that makes sense.
3.
They speak English in Canada. Yeah.
8, something like that. Yeah, this is a Canadian podcast, by the way.
Well, it's funny because when I joined, I like leveled the playing field because it was like you and Randy were Canada. Now me and Scott are Colorado. It's a Colorado podcast.
Scott is mostly Canadian, though. He's like honorary, you know?
There's many opportunities. My I have Canadian heritage, but also, no, I am American. And actually, at one point, Wes, 3 of the people on this podcast, or in this team, were living in Colorado. So
true.
It's a Rocky Mountain podcast.
Yeah.
It's a Mile High podcast.
This was part of the, like when I got the job, I put these Canada and Colorado stickers on the Syntax skateboard.
Oh,
yeah.
Exactly.
I'm glad you left the Canada one on for that. We have the Syntax Canada sticker somewhere. I don't know where exactly where it is.
I might even have one on my computer.
If you're watching in the chat, let us know where you're tuning in from, because I see Gabri the Botha from South Africa, Bam Lucas from Germany. We've got some people watching in India, also
Sweden.
Turkey, Argentina,
Canada, good.
Canada,
Quebec.
YouTube says,
worst
wait, these
part
guys
of Canada, but close enough.
These guys are Canadian?
One person on this call is Canadian currently.
Wes is Canadian.
Close enough. But telling stories about like being recognized in public, many times I've met people like at the mall or on the street or whatever, just walking around. You just say like, "Oh, hey, are you Wes? I listen to Syntax." And probably about 4 or 5 years ago, this is before we were doing video. So a lot of people didn't even know like what I look like because they simply just are audio listeners. And it was Christmas Day. We were at the park and I was just like yelling, like not yelling at my kids, but yelling to my kids, like, "Hey, like go down the slide." And someone from across the park was like, "That's Wes's voice," you know? And I have it at conferences all the time where people go, you're in line and you're talking to somebody and somebody will just go, "Whoop, I know that voice," you know?
Your voice
just
does carry.
Yeah.
We were at the internet event at the Golden State at the Chase Center, and people were speaking, and somebody had to come out and be like, "Can you be quiet, Wes?" Yeah. Wes was outside
several times
of the venue, and he was so loud that it was interrupting the stage show.
Yeah, my voice definitely carries. But this was at the park on Christmas Day, and some guy from across the park like was like, that's Wes. And he like went over and was like, hey, I listened to the podcast, which is just crazy to think that somebody can recognize you from your voice. And I don't even feel like I have a very unique voice.
So Wes, I've the two of the times that I've been recognized in public have been because of my voice. One was at the zoo, and it was like nighttime, so nobody could see me anyways. And some guy was like, "Whoa, are you Scott?" And I was there with my family, and I was like, "Oh, hey." He's like, "I just heard your voice." And then another time, I was on the chairlift. I got my goggles on, I got my face mask on, and I'm just talking with some random guy on the chairlift, and he was like, hold on, is your name Scott by any chance? I was just like, yeah. He's like, I listen to Syntax. I'm, what? This is crazy.
Nice.
Wild, yeah.
Trivia. What was the first Syntax sponsor ever?
Are you asking me? Because I know.
Yeah. Oh, you know. Okay. Well, I don't think CJ would know.
No, I'm not that deep
It was
on.
Delicious Brains has a WordPress plugin called WP Migrate DB Pro, which at the time I was like a fairly heavy, maybe like previously that I was doing a lot of consulting and doing like WordPress, and I had used that product quite a bit. And he just randomly emailed me. He's like, "Hey, can we sponsor?" And at the time, I didn't even think we could get sponsors on it. And we're like, "Yeah, hell yeah, come on." So that was the very first one. Yeah, FreshBooks was pretty early on there as well as a sponsor. And Sentry came on pretty early as well.
Delicious Brains sponsored the 4th episode. And the reason why that's significant is because when Wes and I first recorded, we recorded 3 episodes in a batch that were like ready to go. So that way we would have like a couple of weeks to put together more episodes. So the 4th episode is significant because that's the first episode that was recorded after we had released 1 episode. So they were on it immediately.
Very impressive, because I think they also just like eyeballed it. We learned very quickly after that there's people that have scripts that like watch iTunes charts at the time. And then as soon as we spiked on the iTunes charts, we got tons of emails from just like random companies, you know, like underwear and shaving and all that stuff. We never really took on any of those sponsors. We almost entirely were tech products, except for
some clothing companies. The Armory in New York.
Armory in New York was like a high-end men's clothing company, which is really cool.
Nice stuff.
Was there any other sponsors that were not tech?
I don't know. We were pretty selective about we could be selective about who we worked with. We didn't want things that either wouldn't be relevant or stuff we didn't actually like or believe in. The audience is saying FreshBooks. FreshBooks was one of the very first sponsors as well. They also were quick to sponsor us.
Oh, Henri just in the chat mentioned who edited the early episodes.
Me.
Scott.
I did the music. I did the bumpers. I edited it. I was a music major, but I don't think they were very good. It's so funny, as I went to school for music technology and audio engineering and stuff, but that was never like anything I was actually that good at. So I did in Logic, and I think that was part of it too, is I just like wasn't used to Logic. So I was just hacking my way through Logic. I still have all those files, which I'm a digital hoarder, so I probably
You know, one thing I deleted a couple years ago, which I regret, is I had the Zoom recordings from all of our early episodes.
Really?
Because we used to just record locally and clap, but we used Zoom just to talk to each other. This was before like Riverside was even a thing.
I don't remember using Zoom to do this.
No, you don't?
Ever.
Oh, man, yeah.
I don't remember Zoom for some reason.
And I remember looking at them before I deleted them, and I was like, we just had like crappy webcams, and like it was not very good at the time. No, I think I had a crappy. You had a really nice setup from the early days.
That's right. Yeah, because I was doing live streams with Level Up, so I had to, and I wasn't doing that many of them, but I was doing a weekly one with Kaitlin, or a monthly one.
On that note, like I really upped my production quality when I joined Syntax. Like before, I was even though I was a live streamer, I was just using webcams, like 4K webcams.
Oh yeah.
But I literally, like when I got the job, I had like a week to prepare, and I bought like a Sony camera and a nice lens, and I got my whole scene set up and everything.
Did you get your Venusaur then, or was it always there?
That's a more recent addition, like within the past few months.
What's a Venusaur?
Pokemon.
Venusaur.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you called out that comment though, but when is the next meetup, Syntax Conf? I think like it would be cool to do like a 2-day thing. Like we do workshops for a day, all of us can teach something, and then bring some of the speakers that have been on the podcast to speak at the conf. That'd be really cool.
I would love to do that. We actually had a call like in 2019 about doing a syntax conference with Ben, who runs. He ran like Reactathon, Real World React. I think he's doing like AI conferences now. And we were thinking about doing it, but then COVID happened and like the whole conference scene just got decimated. So yeah, it would be pretty fun. We've done tons of meetups, right? And we've done probably 10 different syntax live shows. Those are always really fun. We did some in Colorado, we've done just some like, just come to a bar and drink beer with us. And then we've done like live coding. So it would be fun to do like a full on conference. Let us know where in the world we should be doing this.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be doing a syntax meetup in Amsterdam this summer. So
yes,
around the same time as JS Nation.
Yes. That is on, what's that date?
Thursday, June 11th.
June 11.
But the meetup will probably be on the 10th, I think.
Yeah. So if you're in Amsterdam for JS Nation or React Summit, keep an eye out for that because we will be there hanging out, doing a live show, all that stuff. Actually, the whole team's going to be there so you can meet everybody.
And we tell you to get a syntax or get a ticket to JS Nation, but also our party, like our meetup, is you don't have to have a ticket to the conference to get in. So it's going to be sick.
Yeah. But you should come to JS Nation. I'll be emceeing. Wes is giving a talk. Scott's giving a talk at React Summit, which is the next day. So come hang out.
I'm giving a talk at React Summit, folks. You're gonna love to hear that. And I'm also emceeing at JS Nation. Yeah, I can't wait to speak at React Summit. I'm not gonna be mean. I'm not gonna say anything bad about React.
Good. I got a couple more supercuts here to play, but before we do that, is there anything else we haven't covered here?
How many guests have you had? Do you have a number?
Oh yeah, I know how many. Do you know how many, Scott?
Oh, I have no idea. No, I have no idea.
It's
How do you just
way
know?
more than I would have thought. Guess. You just guess.
Okay. 250.
190. You overguess. You ruined it. That's actually crazy that we've had 100 because in the early days we didn't do guests until episode 170-ish. We had a couple people on here and there. Sasha Grief was the first one. Cortland Allen from Indie Hackers and Sarah Sweden were our first 3 guests. And then we started, basically, we like added a third show. We did a hasty treat, short one on a Monday. We did a tasty treat, it's like an hour-long one on a Wednesday. And then we added a Friday episode, which is kind of like an interview. And man, I have loved this because you've gotten to meet like 200 of the like top dogs in our industry.
And it's so cool to see everybody. You go to a conference, you get to see them, and you know everybody. When I was emceeing JS Nation last year, it was like every single person I interviewed or introduced on stage was like someone we had on the show. So it felt so much better to interview them on stage. I, had questions to ask and things like that. It was just everybody so great. So shout out to anyone who's ever been a guest on Syntax. You were all amazing for joining us for that. Do you have the intro themes as well, Wes? The previous intro themes?
Randy has them if he wants to play it for. I think he's watching in the
one
shadows.
of them.
Oh yeah, Randy has the he at least has the Supper Club theme, which I'm going to be honest, the Supper Club theme was always my least favorite of the 3.
Mine as well. So for the audience listening, we used to have these sick intros that were like radio, monster truck, DJ, and we used to put them at the start of every episode. But unfortunately, TikTok has ruined all of your brains and you don't listen. If you don't get like what is happening within the first like 12 seconds of a video, you turn it off. So we had to get rid of those. Also, people hated them.
Which is so funny. Yeah. That was like simultaneously, they were so divisive. Like people were hearing a lot of get rid of them, they're cringy, and also we love them, don't get rid of them.
It's actually funny to think about the like progression of content that we've done because we used to do like a 30-second intro and then we used to do how you doing, chit chat, what's going on in your life, and that would be the first like 10 minutes of the podcast. And I always really enjoyed that. I think people also enjoyed getting like a little peek into our lives as well. But since things have moved more into like the algorithmic way, like you can't have as much of that, and we have to try to get into it as fast as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, people also accused us of selling out when we got rid of them because we got rid of them right when the Sentry acquisition happened. But that was just something we had been wanting to do for a long time.
That was just because we finally had somebody like Randy say, "Hey, can you turn those off?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious if it was in the Sentry contract. We're gonna purchase you, but you have to stop playing the intros.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let me share. Or sorry, Randy, do you have the first one that you can play?
He is the Supper Club one.
All right, play the Supper Club one. Scott's least favorite.
I sure hope you're hungry. Ooh, I'm starving. Wash those hands, pull up a chair, and secure that feed bag. Because it's time to listen to Scott Tolinsky and Wes Boss attempt to use human language to converse with and pick the brains of other developers. One's way smarter than these guys. I thought there was gonna be food. So buckle up and grab that shit handle, because this ride is going to get wild. This is the Syntax Supper Club.
Oh, I don't like it. I've never heard it. And I will say this. I have literally never heard that outside of when we first got it at 1x speed, at the normal speed. It usually felt like it went so much faster every time I listened to it. This time it was just like, oh, this is so slow.
Yeah. It was too long, even at the time. Here is episode 56. I think this is one of the first ones where we had this intro. Let me play it.
You're listening to Syntax, the podcast with the tastiest web development treats out there. Strap yourself in and get ready. Here is Scott Tolinsky and Wes Boss.
Welcome to...
Nice.
So that one was just like a little intro.
Do you guys did you hire somebody specifically? Like the monster truck guy, that's like a real voice. This is before AI voices. This is a real guy, right?
Yeah, there was like they call them growlers in radio. And we went on Fiverr and found a growler that would make us one. And I think this one has the monster truck. Let's listen.
Monday. Open wide dev fans. Get ready to stuff your face with JavaScript, CSS, Node modules, barbecue tips, Git workflows, breakdancing, soft skill, web development, the hastiest, the craziest, the tastiest web development treats. Coming in hot, here is Wes, Barracuda, Boss, and Scott El Toro Loco Tolinsky.
The Barracuda and the El Toro Loco was hilarious.
Yeah, my favorite thing about that one was the airplane sound. Here I got my El Toro Loco sign. Shout out to Aerotype. Aerotype is a type foundry, and Steven over there did this by hand for me. It was really cool.
Did you guys who came up with El Toro Loco and Barracuda?
I did. I remember messaging Scott being like, we need something funny to call you. I think I forget how we came up with the Barracuda and El Toro Loco. I think El Toro Loco came up because that's an actual monster truck.
It's a monster truck, yeah.
Yeah. Nifty. There's the nifty cut.
Nice.
What is? I don't even know what these are. Let me play.
Wow.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
Bumper.
Wow.
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 Whoa.
Wow.
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 Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh, whoa.
Whoa.
It's a bit too long.
That's a good one.
Do we have the my wife cut? The my wife cut might be
The
my
my
favorite
wife.
one.
Okay, let me bring the my wife up.
The my wife cut. I was losing it. That one.
My wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My
My wife.
wife.
My 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 wife. My wife.
My wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My wife. My wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife. 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 My wife.
Wife.
My wife.
The best one is where you're just like, my wife.
And then Courtney's face while I'm saying that, she's just like, she's so like, what are you saying right now?
Why do I'm holding a drill?
Oh yeah. Must have been a sick
My
pick or
wife.
something.
Look at how disgusted she is with you.
She's
My
not stoked. Yeah,
wife.
she's like, what are you saying right now?
What do we
Super
got here?
cool. Pretty sick. Neat. Neat.
Pretty slick.
Pretty nice. Neat.
Pretty neat. Neat actions you could make, and it's neat.
Pretty cool.
Neat. Pretty cool. Pretty sick. Neat.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Neat. Nifty. Neat.
Neat. Neat. Neat. Neat. Pretty nice. Pretty sick. Neat.
Neat. Pretty cool.
Neat.
Pretty sweet. Pretty cool.
Neat.
Pretty cool.
Neat.
Neat.
Neat. Neat. Neat. Neat.
Neat. Pretty nifty. Pretty neat.
Pretty slick.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Neat.
Neat.
Super cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty neat.
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 Oh my god. These are so ridiculous.
Oh, the pizza one is good too. Sorry, I'm just gonna play these.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Pizza.
Insane how many times we've said pizza. I guess
Yeah.
we did the pizza video, but
We did a pizza video. Yeah, that's so funny. Oh my god.
oh man, I have so many of these, and all I want to do is just download like other people's YouTube videos as well and make supercuts of them. Just so good. Oh, I gotta do the AI one for a couple minutes.
AI.
AI. AI.
AI. AI.
AI. AI.
AI.
AI.
AI.
AI.
AI. AI.
AI.
AI. You said this was 4 minutes.
AI.
So I had to limit it to I think 150, but I ran it without a limit. And it was 4.5 minutes, and that's with every like fourth one it tiles them. So
That's
it tries to
crazy.
find words that are the same length, and then it plays them over top of each other. And you kind of hear them in harmony.
I do like the harmony. That is very funny. Okay. Well, Wes, we're coming up on an hour and 20 some minutes. Is there anything else you wanted to hit?
I don't think so. I think thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been a wild 1,000 episodes. I can't believe that I get to do this as my job. It's super fun. And like this wouldn't be anything without people who tune in every single week and leave comments and give us suggestions and tell us to stop using the stupid monster truck intro.
Oh, yes. I thank you so much, everybody. Sincerely, man. And 1,000. Can't wait for episode 1,001. So I think I'm just excited to do this podcast and not more excited to do it every single day than I was when we first started. So I think that's testament to the joy it is to work with all of y'all. And, you know, CJ joining the team, it's been amazing to have you as a part of this group. And Wes, man, it's I don't think I've ever once been like, I got to record a podcast with Wes today. It's like always just like a joy to hang out, you know, with your buddy talking about the stuff you love. So
Just shooting the shit about the web.
I love
It's
it.
good stuff. Cool.
Yeah, thanks for hiring me. Thanks for having me, guys. This has been great.
Welcome.
Here's to 1,000 more.
1,000
Beautiful.
more.
All right. Peace.
Yes.
Oh, we should have done a peace supercut.